Close your eyes and imagine this. For the past few years, the entire auto world seems to have revolved around one familiar script. Giants like Tesla and BYD are pushing hard to dominate the electric vehicle race. Meanwhile, in the United States market, domestic automakers are still sleeping soundly, feeling absolutely secure behind massive tariff walls. But a bombshell has just been dropped, and it could completely wipe out the American auto industry. Just this month, BYD officially crossed the 1 million mark in vehicle exports. And the craziest part? North American analysts are freaking out over the news that the company is gearing up to launch a brand new electric car with a shocking price tag under $15,000. Yes, you heard that exactly right. 15 grand for an electric car. And instead of knocking directly on America's front door, they are quietly turning Canada and Mexico into a strategic stepping stone. The ultimate nightmare for United States automakers has officially begun. How on earth can a fully functional, modern electric car cost less than a high-end motorcycle? What exactly is their Trojan horse strategy through the Mexican border? And why are traditional heavyweights suddenly terrified? We are going to break down the exact technology, the supply chain secrets, and the genius loophole they are using to bypass restrictions. You absolutely need to stick around until the very end. Because this is not just about a cheap car, it is about the complete rewiring of the global automotive map. Before we expose the truth behind this $15,000 bombshell, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss out on these industry-shaking updates, origins, and the empire. To truly grasp the magnitude, we have to look back. Many people in the West still mistakenly view BYD as just another cheap overseas knockoff brand, but that could not be further from the truth. This is not some overnight startup. Started in the mid-1990s, BYD originally built its empire not on wheels, but on batteries. They were the silent giants, powering your early cell phones and electronics. By mastering battery chemistry first, they essentially secured the most expensive and complex puzzle piece of electric vehicles decades before their competitors even woke up. While traditional automakers were busy figuring out how to squeeze more miles out of a gallon of gas, BYD was quietly buying up lithium mines, building massive battery factories, and establishing an entirely closed-loop supply chain. Today, they do not just assemble cars. They manufacture their own computer chips, their own electric motors, and their own revolutionary blade batteries, which are so safe and dense that even competitors are forced to buy from them. They have transformed from an obscure battery supplier into an absolute juggernaut that recently dethroned Tesla as the world's top seller of electric vehicles. They have the scale, they have the raw materials, and most importantly, they have the deep technological foundation that allows them to slash production costs to a level that Western companies can only dream of. When a company with this much vertical integration decides to make a budget-friendly car, it is not a compromise. It is a calculated declaration of war, the American villain and market failure. Now, let us look at the glaring vulnerability of the American automotive market that makes this invasion so dangerous. For years, domestic automakers have been completely disconnected from the reality of the average consumer. The current electric vehicle landscape in the United States is basically a playground for the wealthy. Companies have become obsessed with producing massive electric trucks, luxury sedans, and high-performance vehicles packed with gimmicks you will probably use once and forget about. The average price of a new electric car in America is hovering dangerously close to $50,000. Think about that for a second. How is a regular working-class citizen, a college student, or a small family supposed to afford the transition to electric when the entry ticket costs more than a year's salary for many? The legacy automakers keep promising affordable options, but they continually push back production dates or quietly cancel their budget models because they simply cannot figure out how to make a profit on them. They have built an entire business model on selling you oversized, overpriced status symbols while ignoring the massive, starving demographic of buyers who just want a reliable daily commuter that does not drain their life savings. This arrogance and disconnect have left the back door wide open. The $15,000 bombshell. Enter the $15,000 disruptor. So, what exactly do you get for that incredibly low price? You might expect a glorified golf cart with doors, but that is the genius of BYD. They are delivering a legitimate, fully capable hatchback that crushes all expectations. This new subcompact electric vehicle is engineered for the real world. In simple words, they took everything unnecessary out and perfected the core essentials. We are talking about a car that offers roughly 200 miles of range on a single charge for the average commuter who drives maybe 30 to 40 miles a day. That is more than enough for an entire week of driving without ever plugging in. The secret sauce keeping the price this low is the company's famous lithium iron phosphate blade battery. This battery does not rely on expensive and controversial materials like cobalt or nickel, which immediately slashes the manufacturing cost. Moreover, it is structurally integrated right into the chassis of the car, reducing weight and improving safety. BYD literally builds every single component of this car in-house. From the dashboard plastics to the software code, they own the entire process. This vertical integration means they do not have to pay middleman markups for parts, while an American company has to source chips from Taiwan, batteries from Korea, and parts from Germany. BYD sources almost everything from their own factories. They have optimized the manufacturing line so ruthlessly that they can produce a finished car in a fraction of the time it takes their rivals. Inside, the car is shockingly modern. It features a rotating touchscreen, decent safety technology, and enough space to comfortably fit 4 adults. They are selling dignity and modern tech at a price point that makes buying a used gas car seem like a terrible financial decision. Introduction. The unfair comparison. When you put this $15,000 electric car head-to-head with what the American market currently considers an entry-level electric vehicle, the comparison becomes genuinely embarrassing. Let us take a look at something like the base model Chevy Bolt or Nissan Leaf. Assuming you can even find one in this market, you are looking at a starting price of roughly $28,000 to $30,000. That is literally double the price of the BYD. What exactly are you paying for that extra $15,000 for? Maybe a slightly faster 0 to 60 time? A few more inches of legroom? For the vast majority of consumers who simply need to get from their house to their office, to the grocery store and back, those minor upgrades are absolutely not worth doubling their entire auto loan. Imagine walking into a dealership and realizing you could buy 2 brand new BYD vehicles for the price of one entry-level American electric car. Furthermore, the maintenance costs and charging efficiency of the blade battery are engineered for long-term durability, meaning the total cost of ownership over time, over 5 years, makes the financial gap even wider. The legacy automakers have spent decades convincing buyers that a car must have a massive engine, luxurious leather, and extreme towing capacity to be worth buying. BYD is now exposing this lie by proving that real value lies in simplicity, efficiency, and keeping more money in the consumer's bank account. The encirclement strategy. But here is where the masterstroke of their strategy truly lies. BYD is fully aware of the political climate. They know that trying to ship these cars directly from their home country to United States ports would result in massive tariffs designed specifically to keep them out. So they are not even trying to do that. Instead, they are executing a brilliant encirclement strategy using America's closest neighbors. BYD is aggressively expanding its footprint in Mexico and Canada. They are investing heavily in building massive manufacturing plants right in Mexico. By manufacturing the vehicles on North American soil, they can potentially leverage free trade agreements, effectively bypassing the steep import taxes that currently protect Detroit automakers. This is a classic Trojan horse maneuver. They are flooding the Latin American and Canadian markets with high-quality, ultra-affordable cars, building brand loyalty, and setting up vast service networks right on America's doorstep. As consumers in Mexico and Canada start driving these $15,000 vehicles, the American public will eventually look across the border and demand to know why they are being forced to pay $50,000 for similar technology. The pressure on United States regulators and automakers will become unbearable. The American giants are suddenly waking up to the terrifying reality that they are being surrounded. They are trapped in a corner, forced to either drastically reinvent their entire manufacturing process to compete on price, or watch their market share slowly erode as consumers find creative ways to import these vehicles or pressure lawmakers to open the gates. This is no longer just a story about a cheap electric car. It is a massive wake-up call for an industry that grew too comfortable and too greedy. BYD is not just bringing a knife to a gunfight. They have brought a fundamentally superior, more efficient way of building the future of transportation. The $15,000 electric vehicle is going to completely redefine what people expect from a car. And the legacy giants better adapt fast, or they will be left in the dust. What do you think about this strategy? Would you buy a $15,000 electric car if it arrived in your town tomorrow? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, do not forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and please subscribe to our channel today for more revolutionary auto discoveries. See you in the next one.